What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon. So, we have just seen South Africa A beat the Lions. This was a game that not a lot of people thought was going to go the way it did. Of course, South Africa missing their game against Georgia, losing out on game time, and so basically put on a full-strength South Africa team, which I was quite surprised at when I did the preview video for this game. And it went the way a couple of people called in the comments. They really thought the South African team was going to come in, really lay down some boundaries. I thought maybe that they would be a little bit rusty in that first half and get going in that second half, but I was super wrong, as I am all too often in these videos. What we do in these review videos is we go through some of the game events and we talk about some of the main themes. So what I'll do for you guys, like I normally do, I'll check the game events here, and not as much to talk about as some of the other games we've had where the board has just been filled. just been filled with things. However, certainly not less to talk about because there was an awful lot going on in this game. There's just less scoring. So we'll dive straight in, starting off before the game even happened. Changing to the Lions team, Josh Adams having to pull out because his wife was going into labour. So Anthony Watson came in, moved to that left wing, which left room in the fullback position. That meant Liam Williams had to go in at fullback for this game. Dan Bigger had to drop out because of an ankle injury, so Owen Farrell had to go in at 10. And finally, a bit of extra news. Ronan Kelleher has got called up to the Lions as well. He did score 4 tries against the USA on the weekend, so pretty deserved, to be fair. He's looking very strong at the minute. And South Africa putting out 16 World Cup winners involved in this 23-man squad, which I didn't know was happening until I literally saw the build-up to the game. So super exciting. Both teams, big changes, big teams going on, and it was set to be a fantastic game. So starting off from the beginning, the Lions almost having a real early opportunity. They had the first real main attack of the game after a bit of kicking back and 2. But the Murray-Farrell combination, especially in that first half, was not linking too well. A couple of missed passes, the distribution not going well, and we didn't get to see it go quite how we wanted to in that early first half. The pass completely missing, knock-ons happening, penalties going awry because of offside passes, forward passes, all these sorts of things. So they had to sort that out, which towards the second half they did. However, it was South Africa that got the first score on the board, and Nkosi almost getting a try, actually, was nearly the first one, which he had a lovely little breakaway. However, Anthony Watson did get the first tackle in, just stopping him from scoring that try. A superb play from Watson, but the first points actually came from a Mornay Steyn penalty. Aki was just running an offside line. You know, it happens in rugby, that's the way it goes. But very much the theme of this game, kicking and points became very, very crucial in this game. The dominance in the kicking battle, which looks like it'll be making its way forwards to the test as well. South Africa certainly looking strong, so Mornay Steyn getting the first penalty of the game. Nkosi not too happy with missing out on that try. Only 6 minutes later manages to actually get a successful try. The Lions on a good attack, in all honesty. They were looking like they were going forwards, they were going places, and that, again, that situation, the fly half-halfback partnership's not working quite well. Farrell attempting to go for a kick over the top. I'm not really sure where to. It was pretty well covered by the fullback. However, he was charged down by Eben Etzebeth. We know what he's like. He's about 6'9". He will charge down everything he can do. The charge down came and the ball bounced, and Nkosi, an 80-metre try. He's a fast player, quite similar to Zamet in terms of speed, and certainly made a good sprint run down there. Got himself a try, and Mornay Steyn kicking the conversion for them there. Just after that, the Lions had to make another change already. Liam Williams going off with a HIA that he never returned from, so Elliot Daly had to come in, having to play that fullback position. Now, Warren Gatland did pick that 6-2 split on the bench. Not a lot of backs to go with, so Daly having to come in very early on was a bit of a scary prospect for him, but Daly knows how to play that fullback position, and to be fair to him, didn't have a terrible game. Both teams were looking strong in the breakdown area. However, in that first half especially, the South African team looked very dominant. So many of those breakdown tackles. When they wanted the ball, they committed men. When they didn't feel like they could get their hands on it, they immediately withdrew. Lions committing so many players in that first half into almost every breakdown. And the scrummaging and the mauling really looking to me like it was a Lions were beginning to struggle to deal with it a little bit. The South African maul, we know how good it is. They used it in that World Cup to just absolute vicious ferocity. And they certainly kept it going through this. There was a penalty in the 20th minute. Itoje going through the middle of the maul, which he had a couple of penalties, Itoje, in this game. He had a very good game overall, but certainly a couple of penalties. We know what he's like. He plays on the edge of the game. A couple of them do feel a bit harsh, but there was definitely a couple of them that were like, oh yeah, probably should have gone that, but he went through the middle. South Africa chose to kick to the corner. Now, we're only 20 minutes in. They were leading the game. I thought with the way the kicking was going, they'd want to get the most out of the points. They chose not to. They went for the corner, and the Lions did manage to hold at that maul and secure the ball back down. It eventually led to a scrum, and the Lions managed to win a 5-metre scrum against the head, completely against the run of play in terms of how the scrummaging was going. So they'll take some positives from this game, especially in things like the scrummaging. They were able to compete against South Africa. Wyn Jones especially being able to do very well in that loose head department. It wasn't until the 28th minute the Lions actually got to score some points themselves. Owen Farrell getting himself a penalty. The Lions had probably the best attack of the half, in all honesty, and it took them a good half hour to really get going. Bit more passing, bit more linking work going, players running set plays, the loop passes working well for them. Eben Etzebeth making a tackle and then not rolling away. It was pretty much in front of the post. Nice easy kick for Farrell. Lakaya Am got his own try in this game, took over the captaincy because, of course, Sia Khaleesi having to self-isolate. So nice to see Am managing to get a try. Again, decision-making from the Lions letting themselves down. Another Lions kick. They kicked away possession. It landed straight in the arms of Colby, and we know what Colby does. Fantastic run. Broke through 3 different players, managing to beat 2 specific defenders on the run. A lovely little offload to Am as Elliot Daly made the tackle, and Am just ran straight under the post for another try, to which Mornay Steyn got another successful conversion. And a lot of the story of this first half was the Lions not utilising their own possessions and far too eager to kick away. We know how much the Boks like to involve themselves with doing the box kicks, but they do it so well. Just because they box kick doesn't mean you need to box kick. Conor Murray, normally very good in terms of the positioning of his box kicks, but the box kicks just for this game weren't really on point for me. The final 5 minutes was a big sort of turning point in this game. They was so close to the Lions managing to get another try. They had penalty after penalty. They had pick and goes, tap penalties, balls being held up over the line. They tried a crossfield kick at one point to Anthony Watson. They just couldn't get over the line. The Lions tried pretty much everything, in all honesty. That South African defence, considering they were coming into this game a little cold, looking very, very strong. However, the way they did manage to hold up this Lions team was through just too many penalties. Faf de Klerk got himself a yellow card. That was in the 39th minute. Getting involved in a tackle, no wrapping, just a shoulder charge into Wyn Jones, which actually stopped Wyn Jones from scoring a try. The connection he made actually knocked Wyn Jones down, and he was the only defender. And I was a little surprised for it to be a yellow card and not be giving us a penalty try. The referee obviously believing he couldn't have got there, even though Faf de Klerk was the only defender in the position that stopped him getting to the try line. I thought was a big call. And only a minute later, Marco van Staden getting his own yellow card, slightly different. They had a couple of people complain about this. I think it was perfectly fair. The yellow card was against Faf de Klerk for a specific incident, leading with the shoulder, connecting with the shoulder head area. That's a yellow card. But the Van Staden yellow card was just for repeated infringements at that breakdown. And Wyn Jones almost managed to reclaim the try that he got taken away from him because of Faf de Klerk. However, it was ruled a double movement. So, although 2 yellow cards coming in, South Africa got away in that first half with only really conceding those 3 points. And they went in at halftime 17-3 up. And in all honesty, that first half looked South African dominant. The scrums looked good, the mauls looked good, the defence was holding up strong. And I think South Africa will be watching the replays of that first half very, very closely because they played very well in that first half. As you can see by the board, it's very much a game of 2 halves. The Lions got off to a really strong start just after the second half began. Faletau with a fantastic breakaway, managing to get the offload to Zammit, but Zammit for some reason choosing not to try and run it himself, tried to look for an offload pass, probably the wrong decision, didn't manage to get the finish, which is a shame. Only another minute later, the Lions made another fantastic break. They really began to come in with some aggression, wanted to score themselves, putting phases together, putting passes in place together, worked really well, going on the attack. But there was a last minute tackle that happened on Anthony Watson. He made a fantastic little breakthrough and held him up. There was a penalty given, playing advantage after he made that fantastic run. And Wyn Jones finally got a try. It's nice to see him getting over that try line. He had a really good game in this game, in all honesty. I thought I was very, very impressed by Wyn Jones. Managing to get himself a try. The tap penalty, going quick, the pick and goes on the line, one after another, and eventually Wyn Jones managed to get himself over for that try. However, he did pick up an injury getting the try, so, positives with the negatives, Mako Vunipola coming on for him. However, Farrell did manage to get a successful conversion from it. The next 5 minutes or so was just all Lions. That 40 to 50 minute area was really Lions going well. The passing play was really, really improving. The winning their own scrums and winning scrums against the head really began to kick in. The Lions scrum really beginning to pick up in that second half. It was nice to see South Africa being forced to give more and more penalties, as well as being down to 13 men because of the 2 yellow cards. You could see they were struggling. They were having to be spread wide. However, the Lions didn't actually manage to get that much from it. They did manage to get this penalty that happened in the 50th minute that Farrell did manage to convert. But in that 5 minute period or so, although they got the penalty and the 3 points from it, you could really see that the Lions for some reason were going so route one, straight up the middle, trying to smash through rather than spreading it wide. And to me, every time I saw the Lions playing wide and making those passing connections going through, they made room, they made space, they got round the back, they made great attacks, and for some reason went down to 13 men. They sort of stopped that a little bit and actually played to try more up to the middle. I would like to see it when it comes around to the actual test. Make sure they utilise the speedsters on the wings. People like Zammit, go wide earlier if you can do, rather than trying to hold the ball and hold defenders. Give them a chance to get going. In the 58th minute, there was a fantastic kick, I believe from Farrell, making a kick through into the back space. Colby having to run back and play that full-back position, manages to collect the ball, but Zammit, who had, again, a really good game, just in terms of, not so much in terms of the attacking that we're used to seeing him doing. However, the defensive work from him was very good in this. He really shut down Colby pretty well for the majority of the game, managing to chase down Colby, holding him on that try line, and the line support was good. They somehow didn't get Colby over the try line and managing to push him back over. Cheslin Colby had a fantastic game, really. They managed to get him down on the ground. The South African team had to just try and get over the top, and the Lions managed to win a penalty. They went for the tap and go, and it's a big call here. They were beginning to get back into the game at that sort of 17-13 period, getting a penalty. The pressure was being applied. They decided to go for the tap and go, which hasn't worked at all in this game, really. The tap and go really led to the pick and drive, and there happened to be one instance where Wyn Jones got the pick and drive try. They didn't attempt to go for that 5 metre maul at all. They must know it's a weakness for themselves. But not to go for the 3 points there, I thought was a big call, just to try and close that gap a little bit. They didn't manage to score anything. Zammit did manage to get over that try line. However, it was denied. It was ruled as a double movement. Nigel Owens in the commentary box was sort of saying he thought that was a bit harsh. He thought it was a single movement. He thought one stage was a tackle and the next one was the first movement. However, the referee decided it was a double movement, so it got reduced from there. And unfortunately, they came away with no points from that. So not taking those threes, not taking the 5 metre maul, taking that tap and go, risky to not come away with a try. And unfortunately, they didn't get any points from that visit to the 22, which will be a shame for them. In the 63rd minute, Mornay Steyn missed a penalty. It was quite a tough one, to be fair. It was about a 45 metre kick or so. So, only the real sort of miss for him from the tee in that game. However, from that 65-minute mark, as South Africa really began to get back in the game, that second half in itself was a game of two halves. They really began to get back. Dominant tackles coming in, winning collisions, managing to get back on top. Faf de Klerk had come back on from his yellow card, was playing fantastically, finding room with grubber kicks and box kicks over the top every time, finding grass, really putting the Lions under pressure. Really, really impressive from him. In the 69th minute, so South Africa did get a penalty, and this was sort of just outside the 22 marker, and there was a big call here. The 17-13 up. They'd already missed one penalty from much further back at the post, but the decision was made here to go for the corner. Now, to me, if they'd already gone for the post once, why would you not go for the post again? They did go for that 5 metre maul. However, Tom Curry, absolutely phenomenal through the middle. Had a really good game all round, in all honesty. He was very, very good. He's really looking to take that 7 shirt. I think really now it's between him and Hamish Watson for that 7 shirt. And Tom Curry, brilliant work, managing to stop that maul and actually managed to drag it down, stopping the play there and getting the scrum turnover. So South Africa, again, not taking that 3 there, similar to the Lions, and coming away with no points from that visit at all. However, only 3 minutes later after this, Mornay Stain decides to go for a drop goal after getting the ball back. So again, decision making here I think will be one thing South Africa want to look at. They know they can win the mauls, they can win the scrums when they need to. Fatigue began to kick in a little bit towards the end of the game. However, the decision making process for them is going to be a big one, I think. Not taking that 3 points from an easy kick at post opportunity to then 3 minutes later attempt to drop goal that missed anyway. Why not just take the 3 originally and work your way back up the field? I'm not sure. It didn't affect the scoreline in the end. However, it did keep them within that 4-point marker. So they were only that 1 try away. And you think, had they taken the easy 3, sealed it out to 7, at least you're coming away with a draw in that game. So I think there's a bit that South Africa can work on as well. However, the Lions will be disappointed. The Lions' discipline giving away an awful lot of penalties, and that South Africa defence really began to step up in that sort of final 5 minutes. And unfortunately for the Lions, the discipline not holding out well. They did manage to get a couple of attacks together. However, Lions managing to get a penalty themselves from a South Africa offside that I thought was a bit dubious, but we'll take it anyway. Adam Beard doing very well in terms of the mauling, trying to win back some of those line-outs, get himself involved, not letting South Africa have that platform to attack from, getting himself involved. Unfortunately, though, the Lions on that attack, Xander Ferguson does get the knock on, and it goes for a scrum. And South Africa actually struggled in the scrum in that very final minute. The Lions looked to really push that scrum over. I think that scrum's going to be a big area when the tests come around. And South Africa managing to get that ball away untidily, but did manage to get it out to the final score. 17 points to South Africa, 13 to the Lions. A South Africa win and the Lions' first loss of the tour. And there's certainly a lot of things that both coaches will take away. The breakdown area and that scrum area is certainly going to be a massive impact on these tests when it comes around. I really think so. The kicking is going to be very, very important, mostly for kicking to return your own possession is one thing I did not see from the Lions. Box kicks from Conor Murray going far too deep. Maybe it's going to be Ali Price actually looking to take that mantle over. Gareth Davis's box kicks aren't really on point. Conor Murray showing he struggled in those box kick situations, and I think Ali Price so far with the box kicking has probably done the best in this tour. So maybe Ali Price will be looking to get in there. Owen Farrell and Conor Murray, not the best link up for me. They really struggled. I know it was last minute. They hadn't really practiced a lot together. Dan Baker was meant to be there, who is working well with Conor Murray. So it'll be interesting to see how they work on that one. And then finally, the decision making for South Africa will become the big one for me. They certainly wanted to play the game properly. They went for post when they could, and they tried to play sort of territory kicking when they needed to as well. So they managed to hold out the game as best as they could do. However, there's certainly a couple of decisions as well as their own discipline they'll want to work on when it comes around to the actual tests. In terms of the man of the match, I didn't catch who got man of the match. I don't think it appeared on screen, and if it did, I was too focused on writing a million notes and doing some graphics and stuff for you guys. So I actually missed who got man of the match. So if you do know who got man of the match, make sure to drop it down in the comments, because that'll be super useful. So I'm going to pick my own man of the match. I think in terms of man of the match from the Lions, I certainly think Tom Curry's getting a look in there. Tom Curry looking very, very good in this team. But also, I think it'd be harsh to not say Wyn Jones looking very good. Unfortunately, playing the 50 minutes of the game because of his injury that he got. But I would go for Tom Curry as a man of the match for the Lions. I thought he had very impressive work. Itoje played okay, but a few penalties for him as well. Not making the most of it. Anthony Watson stayed on the field, and Elliot Daly had an alright game at fullback, to be fair. But for me, I think I'd go for Tom Curry. In terms of South Africa, Cheslin Colby is just a nightmare to deal with. Getting himself the fantastic running line for the try for Am. Just general running play was good, playing the backfield, not getting pushed over his own try line when Zammit shut him down and managing to hold out 3 or 4 tackles on his own. Really well worked. And also Faf de Klerk having a really good game. He's very, very impressive. The yellow card probably letting him down a little bit, but the territory kicking was very, very good from him. But that's going to be it from me today, guys. Let me know what you thought of the game. Drop it down in the comments. This was a game, the result of which I didn't think was going to go the way it did. I did think the Lions were going to be able to squeeze this out, but they certainly were put under a lot of pressure, and South Africa really showing like they may be going for a clean sweep if Lions can't sort out their act a little bit. So it's going to be a really interesting test. There's only 10 days now to the official tests begin. I do believe the Lions have one more game this Saturday. before that. So last minute to improve some certain areas for them, but this South Africa team looking massive. So make sure you drop down in the comments your thoughts on the game, because I really enjoy reading through them. I hope you've all enjoyed today, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel just to keep up to date with all the latest videos as they come out. I hope you all enjoyed today, guys. I will see you next time. Bye bye.